This will be the most annoying video you see all day. I'm going to tell you the 10 most annoying things in The Sims 1. This wonderful game is amazing, right? But there are some things that drive me freaking crazy, and I'm sure they do to you too. So let's talk about it. I'm going to go through each one of these things, then I'm going to rank them all at the end so you can know which one is the absolute worst. But if you dare continue on this video, prepare yourself. It's going to get more annoying and more annoying as we go. Okay, I gotta stop that. That's driving me crazy. Okay, here's the first one. No weekends. So in The Sims 1, you are forced to be a workaholic. You don't ever get a weekend. This means that you're supposed to go to work every single day. You can't ever get a day off because it takes so long to do everything in the game, which I will cover a little bit later. So for example, in this video, my sim has 2 hours to wake up and get ready for work before his carpool, and he can't even eat, take a shower, and pee in 2 hours. Like, he's not even done with the second task. There just isn't enough time in the day to meet all your sim's needs. You know, normally you would use your weekends, like having a day off work, sleep in, take a nice bath, get those comfort and hygiene needs up high, or maybe go on vacation. Well, you can't really do that. So if you want your sim to thrive in any way, you're gonna have to miss work every once in a while to recoup all your sim's needs and take care of things you gotta take care of. Which, if you ask me, is annoying. Next, children. Now I know this sounds bad, but children are so annoying, but not in real life, in The Sims. So I want to start with babies. So you get the call you've always wanted. You get to adopt a baby. Yay, your family's growing. Well, get ready for non-stop torment. The baby never stops crying. In fact, you should probably just mute the game when you play, if I'm being honest, because the baby's cries are so annoying. Very, very realistic, but just so painful to your ears. It's very hard to soothe the baby as well. It's impossible. The baby just cries and cries and cries, and it's honestly terrible. And then they become kids, and with kids, you can barely do anything. Like, your kid can only play with toys, play on the playground, and I guess have a snack. I mean, you can't do much with them, and eventually you get bored of playing with them and wish they would grow up, but guess what? They never grow up. I mean, Cassandra Goth has been 10 years old for like 23 years, so they just never leave your house. The only way to get rid of them is to send them to military school by making them miss the bus enough times, sabotaging your kids. So having children in this game, honestly, it just creates a ton of obstacles, and it makes the game harder and way more annoying. Next up on most annoying things in The Sims 1, newspapers. Now, I literally never use the newspapers. I don't read them. I don't look for jobs in them. Nothing at all. I always give my sim a computer because there are 3 job options every day on the computer instead of the single job offer that you get in the newspaper. So the newspaper is not that useful, honestly, and it also goes bad after literally 1 day. So by day 2, it's just a worthless piece of trash and you can do nothing with it but recycle. And it's a huge hassle as well to take your sim all the way out to the front of the yard, put them in the trash, and sometimes the maid even misses them. And before too long, your sim will look out front and notice that there's 10 newspapers sitting out there. Super annoying. Next is time. The way time works in this game is absolutely frustrating. It makes it very difficult to plan your day and honestly to fit everything in the day that you need to fit in. I mentioned this earlier when I talked about there being no weekends, but it takes way too long to do things in this game. It takes like an hour to take a shower. It takes an hour and a half to cook and eat a meal. Everything takes horrendously too long, and it causes you to miss your carpool. And like look at this. There's literally a burglar coming into the house, and he's complaining about being tired. Dude, come on, call the police. Go to the phone. Let's go. Oh, okay. And now the action's canceled, so I guess he doesn't really care about getting robbed. Gosh, that's so annoying. Next up, and you knew this would make the list, it's the clown. When you buy a clown painting, you open up the possibility that the clown will show up at your house. Now, not only does the clown show up, he pretty much moves in. You really don't have an option here. He just stays in your house. He's always in your way when you're trying to go somewhere in the house. His coughing sound is just nonstop, and it's so aggravating. He watches you sleep, waking you up most nights. Oh, and the constant crying. And the only way to get rid of him altogether is to call the clown catchers, which is $500, so very expensive. And they do come and take care of him, but it takes forever. And it's time that you really shouldn't have to spend. There are other fun NPCs that you can interact with, like Claire the Bear or the Mime, but they always go home eventually. The clown is this curse that you want to avoid the clown at all costs. It's very, very annoying. Next up is cars. Now, the cars really bother me, mainly because they get stuck so often, and they can't get around things in the road. They just sit there honking all day. Let's say there's a cat or a dog or like some trash in the road. The car won't go around it. It can't go around. And there's not a driver that can get out of the car and actually help shoo the pet away or clean up whatever's in there. They just sit there honking, and they'll stay there all day and all night if the thing doesn't move. You can control some of these things, but you can't control the wild pets that could just park themselves in the road and take a nap. So the fact that cars can't get past stuff in the road, obstacles, is incredibly annoying. Next up, oh my gosh, pets. Pets are so stinking annoying in The Sims 1. I don't care what anyone says. The Sims Unleashed is the worst expansion pack of The Sims 1. All of the expansion packs are better than this one. I honestly believe it's objectively annoying, and it ruins the game when you have a pet in your home. It's bad enough that there are stray pets, who can kind of wander in your house anytime, day or night, somehow using their non-existent thumbs to open doors, which makes no sense, honestly. They pee everywhere, they beg all the time, and oh my goodness, the begging. I mean, every 5 minutes I have to be begged from a cat. It interrupts what I'm trying to do, it cancels my actions sometimes, and then if you adopt the pet becomes part of your family, and then look, you gotta take care of the pet's needs. It's just completely ridiculous. Next up is Sims Needs. Now, the Sims Needs can be incredibly frustrating and very, very annoying. Now, I'm talking about the 8 categories here at the bottom right of the screen that track how your sim is doing emotionally and what they need. There are many things wrong with how the needs work in this game, and it can cause a lot of annoyance. So, for example, let's say, you need to improve your charisma or something to get a job promotion. Well, it's near impossible to even be in a good enough mood to where your sim will be willing to practice their speech at a mirror. They're always too depressed. And I did an example right here. So my sim is playing guitar, and his mood is pretty neutral. It's kind of right in the middle. Now watch, I'm going to see if he wants to work out now. And he's too depressed. So let's say I needed to have some strength for a job. Well, I can't get that promotion because my sim is too depressed to work out. And look at this, I'm going to have him play guitar again. He was just playing guitar, but now I guess his mood has dropped too low and he's too depressed. It's so annoying. Gaining skills is really hard to come by because of the mood requirement. It's just way too high. And don't even get me started on trying to get married. To propose to a sim and actually have them say yes, you have to be literally in a perfect mood. And they do too, which you can't control their mood. So it's really, really hard to get married. It feels like a bit of a roadblock in the game, honestly, and it's kind of annoying for sure. All right, next one up is one that might seem silly, but I'm going to explain why it made the top 10 list, okay? It's cooking skills. So your sim needs at least 2 cooking skills to be able to cook a meal on the grill or a stove without starting a fire. Any fewer than 2 cooking skill points, and you run the risk of a fire breaking out at any time. Now, here's why this is so annoying, because when you first create a family and move them into a house, the sim has no cooking skills. So if you don't want to have a fire, you have to pretty much start every single game out with getting your sim to sit down and study cooking, which takes literally all day. And if their mood's not perfect, it's impossible to get those cooking skills because they don't want to study cooking. It's a really annoying part of the game, honestly, and it's very difficult to get past. And because of this, it makes the top 10 list. It's very unnecessary that they need 2 cooking skills to guarantee that a fire won't start. It's this unnecessary step that you have to do every single time you start a new family, and it's really, really annoying. Next up, bugs and flies. Good Lord, if you've ever played The Sims, you already know what I'm talking about. No matter how clean your house is, you can never completely avoid an infestation of bugs, flies, and roaches. Now, the maid, who can be helpful, doesn't always clean them up, and they're just always there buzzing everywhere. All the time. It's just so irritating. It literally makes my skin crawl. That sound is just this little irritating, and it's just always there. No matter where you go in the house, you cannot avoid it. It's in every single room. No matter where you are, it's just always present. Once you get bugs the first time, you're pretty much going to always have them, and it's so hard to keep them from coming back once you get rid of them. It's just ridiculous. You basically have to have a perfectly spotless and clean house to be sure that you won't get them. But don't worry, you won't be able to avoid them. They're coming for you, so you better just get used to it now. Okay, and here's what we're going to do now. I'm going to rank these now from number 10 all the way down to number 1. And I'd love to actually know what your ranking is too, so maybe before I reveal these to you, pause this video, throw a comment below with your top 10 in order, and then we'll compare and see who's right. Okay, starting at number 10, no weekends. And number 9, cooking skills. Number 8, cars. Number 7, newspapers. Number 6, the clown. Number 5, children. Number 4, time. Number 3, bugs and flies. Number 2, drum roll, pets. And of course, that leaves number 1, the most annoying thing in The Sims 1 is the needs of your sim and how difficult that is to navigate and how many problems that causes throughout the game. So there you have it. Those are the 10 most annoying things in The Sims 1. Now, 2 more things here. Quickly, before you go, please be sure to like this video if you've made it this far. That's awesome. I'd love for you to do that. It would help me out a lot. Also, please become a subscriber. I'd love to have you as part of my community. So please hit that red subscribe button so you don't miss my next video. And also, I guess there's more than 2. Please click down on my Patreon and become a member. You can actually join for free. There's not a requirement to pay to become a member of my Patreon. I do all kinds of behind-the-scenes videos and extra content and newsletters and all that good stuff that you want to be a part of. So please click into that link. It's all in the description below. Become a free member. And of course, you can become a paid member for $3 a month. That would be a huge help for me as well. And last thing, I promise, click into this video and watch it next. It's another Sims video that I made just for you, curated for you, so please click and watch that next, and have a great rest of your day, or maybe don't have a good day. I don't really care.